All right, everybody, thanks for downloading the Unleashed version of the Steve Austin Show, and you are in for something different today. You're going to get an uncensored, unedited look at a day in the life of a global icon and a national treasure. I'm fixing to show you exactly how I'm rolling down here in Hartwell, Georgia, with my partner in crime, Chris Collins, who's driving me back and forth to set and help me out while I'm here. This is my last show from Hartwell, Georgia, and before we get to cranking, y'all know I ain't got no technical bone in my body. Technical genius is not what I am. You guys have heard about the problems I've had trying to get this very show back to Beverly Hills each week. So if I'm saying that Weebly.com is a great, easy way to build your own website, then you know it's true. If I can use Weebly.com, then you can definitely use Weebly.com. Millions of people have created high-quality websites, blogs, and online stores all by themselves using Weebly.com. Weebly has hundreds of design templates ready to go that you can choose from, or you can use their tools to create your own unique design. Now, Weebly also has a drop-and-drag site builder that lets you build and design your site right from your web browser. And you can drag and drop all your content elements into place. And I know you know how to drag and drop, people. I mean, come on. Hell, I know how to drag and drop. And Weebly makes sure that your website works perfectly on web and mobile. So whether you're building a website for your business, creating a portfolio to showcase your work, or trying to sell your products online, Weebly's ready to help. We all know that making an idea come to life is hard, but making a website for it should be easy. Create your free website today at Weebly.com. That is Weebly.com, Weebly.com.
The following program is a PodcastOne.com production. He started in a small town in Texas. Worked his ass off to become one of the most famous wrestlers of all time.
We're going to take care of business tonight, and that's the bottom line.
And now he's dominating the world of on-demand audio, and he's doing it for the working man.
This is a damn good outlet for me to spew the bullshit off my brain.
Yeah! This is the Steve Austin Show, Unleashed. Unleashed.
All right, everybody, welcome to Steve Austin Show Unleashed. This is my last podcast. I'm here in Lake Hartwell, Georgia. We're about to wrap up Redneck Island. Time for me to get stepping into the wind, head on back to Los Angeles, and get ready to gear up for the Broken Skull Challenge, the biggest, baddest, toughest show on television. So, since I'm wrapping everything up, I thought I'd give you a look at what some of my days are like. Now, on this particular day, it was a day where all I had to do was a little bit of digital content for CMT.com. Most days are bust ass, and you'll get a taste of that as we take you through the paces as I roll down to the road with my main man, Chris Collins. Now, Chris Collins is the guy that's in charge of getting me to set and helping me out, and he's got like a million jobs, but that's one of his jobs. And me and Chris Collins met a couple of years ago in Redneck Island in Mexico when he was doing some editing. So anyway, you're going to hear his story, and we're going to shoot the shit, ride around town, run errands, and basically shoot the breeze. And then we're going to go out to dinner. So it ain't nothing but a thing like a chicken wing on a shoestring as we roll down the road, take you guys in the car with us, and talk about all kinds of bullshit as it pertains to life. Chris has a very unique flavor for tennis shoes. You're going to hear some of his tennis shoe stories, some of our takes on some of the topics, current topics like the Washington Redskins, and we'll delve into other bullshit and how he takes up too much room in the closet versus his girl. And I almost had to pull his man card. But anyway, all it is a rolling bullshit session. We're out here on the set in Hartwell, Georgia, and Chris comes from Oakland. He's from the Bay Area, and then he moved down into Los Angeles, and he lives in Hollywood. And so now he's down here in Hartwell with me, and it's his first time to kind of be out in this kind of neck of the woods. So we talk about all kinds of shit and have a lot of fun in the process. And while I'm talking about Chris Collins, I just want to say thank you for all your help. You're the premier professional, and it was a joy to work with you. And you know what, folks? Later on down the road, I got my match of the week on my last segment of the show. It's from the WWE Network. It's coming up. And I always talk about how big of a fan I was of the ace, Cowboy Bob Orton Jr. My match of the week is with him, but you'll find out who it was with at the end of the show. But, hey, you guys know I'm filming Redneck Island for CMT, and when this shoot is done, I got a few days off, and then I head to the set of Broken Skull Challenge to film Season 2, and I know you don't want to miss either show when they hit the airwaves. That's why you need Dish. And no matter where you live in America, you can get great TV with Dish. If you're living in a concrete jungle, or if you live out in the middle of nowhere, Dish can beam you all the great TV you need from straight out of the sky via satellite. And that's one thing we all got plenty of, the big blue sky. And right now you can switch to Dish and pay as little as $19.99 a month for 12 months. And you can get free installation in up to 6 rooms up in this mug. Free installation, people. Just go to dish.com/Steve. That's dish.com/Steve. Folks, this is a limited time offer. 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee and other restrictions apply. Call for details. And, hey, you can also ask about all the other amazing deals on upgrades to the Hopper. And you can ask about watching your TV anywhere, anytime. So if you want great TV for just $19.99 a month for 12 months, then you got to go to dish.com/Steve. Take advantage of this while you can. That's dish.com/Steve.
When the Dan Patrick Show ends,
it's over.
The box score begins.
Nothing is over. Nothing.
Join Paulie, Seaton, Fritzy, McLovin, and host Brock.
Woo, woo, woo.
Every day they react to the day's events.
McLovin, do you feel any cooler after doing all that?
And plan for Brock's death.
Just come into my house, grab my computer, and go throw it off the end of a pier. That's all I ask.
What have I done?
Go to podcast1.com/boxscore to hear every show.
All right, welcome to Steve Austin Show, everybody. I'm taking you on a ride while we do our work today. Today's actually a short day. I'm hanging with my main man from Amsterdam, Chris Collins. And actually, that's complete bullshit. He is not from Amsterdam. He is from Oakland. Chris, I'm going to turn the microphone over to Chris when he gets through backing up, because he has almost killed me several times being behind the wheel while we've been driving together here in the ATL outskirts. Here you go, Chris. Here's your microphone.
Steve.
Bro,
hey,
can you drive? Well, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you. I'm glad to be here, man.
We've been seeing each other for, what, almost 4 weeks all together? I mean, not seeing each other like we dating, but
yeah.
We work together.
Yeah, and it's been a pleasure, man.
Okay, now, I was telling everybody on the podcast in recent few weeks that every time I go to get picked up from set, you're the one that comes and gets me.
Oh, yeah.
Now, why is that? Because, I'm 49 years old, and I got a GPS. I know where all locations is at, so why they got to send you to come get me?
Oh, man, because I'm cooler than a fan, man. I got to make sure you get to the destination safe and sound, and you could be able to get over your notes and to make sure you have a strong performance when that camera lands on you.
There you go.
So you leave up the driving to me, and I'm going to get you there, and I'm going to get you there in a good mood, too.
Okay, now, we'll get back to your driving skills here in a second. Because you and me met, on Redneck Island 1?
Yeah, Redneck Island 1. Yeah.
Now, listen, y'all hear that beeping? This is one of them cars where it will tell you, put your seatbelt on in so many words. Hang on. By beeping at you. Now, see, Chris, if you were looking out for me, you said, hey, Steve, man, you might want to put your seatbelt on for your own safety because you know how I drive. Anyway, hey, I met you at what, Season 1 of Redneck Island?
Season 1.
But you was doing a different job back then.
I was doing a different job. I was working in post as an assistant editor.
Okay, assistant editor, and you was, we were talking the other day, so you edit, but you got a little bit burnt out on that, so you switched positions.
I got a little burnt out, man.
What, sitting in the cubicle wasn't for you?
Cubicle was not for me, man. We called it the edit bay. It's more like a cave. And, I mean, it's all well and good and all, but it just had me kind of blocked off from civilization. Like, I was just in a hole all day, taking notes from producers, getting screamed at about groups and digitizing a whole bunch of tech shit that probably half the listeners not even interested in.
Yeah, but dig this, man. Goddamn, that dude's flying down the road.
Flying down here.
Slow your dumb ass down. There's a global icon and a national treasure up in this motherfucker. Trying to get there. You go. Thank you, Chris.
Hey, I got you.
Shit. God damn it. Somebody's could have killed our ass. Anyway, so check it out, man. Like when we out there filming, we got probably what, 6, 8 cameras rolling plus the GoPros?
Plus the GoPros.
You tell me how many
plus
cameras
the jib cam.
Right.
And plus whatever, whatever photography they're taking for the behind-the-scenes shots and promo shots.
Okay, so when you get in that edit bay, the cave, as you call it, I mean, man, that's got to be like mind-boggling because I can only do like 1 or 2 things at a time. Multitasking is not my specialty. So aren't you overwhelmed with time codes and all the film that comes in and how to edit that motherfucker together with some type of consecutive order?
Man, you talking about time codes, formats. Sometimes with the GoPros, they don't even have time codes, so you have to come up with a time code for them. And then, the next thing is grouping. We have to group the stuff together, which is pretty much syncing up the sound with all the different cameras. And when I tell you a clusterfuck that can be, man, I mean, that's saying it at its least. It could just take hours and hours and hours just to sync up one group.
Okay, well, dig this. You know that at Redneck Island, okay, the show lasts 1 hour, but that means 48 minutes of content of Redneck Island, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so how much time goes into creating one episode? With all the time spent that you do in the edit bay or that they looked at pouring over the footage to say, okay, here's my notes, here's what I would like to see.
Well, to tell you the truth, it's not even just me. It's about 5 to 6 AEs and 5 to 6 editors actually working. So you talking about turning over episode 1, it could take days. I would say a good week to polish off one good episode.
And that's with different human beings with different sets of eyeballs and everybody going through the paces
different
and
creative
putting
notes,
all the shit in.
Exactly. Seeing what works, what doesn't, dropping in graphics, making sure that, everything's just syncing up together, working good, making sure everything's looking clean and beautiful. So by the time it airs on TV, it looks like a polished project.
But then at 51 Minds, a production company, then they ship that off to CMT to get their notes, right?
Correct.
And then they come back with their notes, and then it's back to the task at hand, putting in what they're requesting.
Correct.
So at the end of the day, they got the bottom line.
They got the bottom line. It's just all these chiefs, and you're just this one little Indian trying to just trying to get by and do all the work to make sure all the chiefs are happy with the finished project.
All right, now do you from Oakland? Now,
yeah.
Did you go to college?
Yes, I did.
Where'd you go to?
Went to Hampton University in Hampton, Virginia.
But what'd you study or major in?
Technical theater.
Did you graduate?
Oh, yeah, I graduated.
So
man.
What do you do with a degree in technical theater?
Well, to tell you the truth, in my current field, you don't
I always like when people say to tell the truth. No, lie to me, motherfucker, shit. Well, I was going to go get on the moon.
Well, now, I really didn't need a degree in what I'm currently doing. But, I did want to have something on paper just showing that
I dig the paper.
Yeah, just showing that I have certain qualifications and that I...
But with that piece of paper, what did that qualify you to do, your degree?
I guess...
Technical theater?
Yeah, I guess make my my resume look a little fancier.
Right.
At the end of the day.
But it was your designs. You wanted to get into film, television, production?
Correct. I did a year over at the Art Academy at first in San Francisco. That's where I first kind of learned how to edit.
Right.
And then I went ahead and went to school just to, learn, writing, blocking, just stage design and different stuff different dynamics like that.
Now break down for the people what blocking is, because I know what you're talking about, but you say.
Okay, blocking is basically positions that you stage or cast on stage. Different positions that you would put them in
and camera position.
Camera position, stage position. Down stage, front stage.
And that sounds like it ain't nothing but a thing like a chicken wing on a shoestring. In theory, but when it all comes down to it, because they're moving shit around, and by the time we get cast lined up and in order so everything looks good, it's always like I always tell these kids out here, trying to make it look like superstars. Because, you always want your best shot.
Definitely.
But it's easier said than done. It ain't like it just happens.
Nah.
But it's got to be planned out.
That's the thing. That's the main thing I tell people. You'll be surprised how many people work on a television set. I think we have a crew of 90 working on this Redneck Island this season. And you just never think about how many jobs and little things that have to get done. But it's quite a process.
Okay, so what is your title now?
My title now is a host coordinator.
So what does that entail for your duties every single day?
making sure everything goes smoothly between the hosts that I have, which is you and our co-hosts, and my team of PAs, which is a team of one, and production, making sure that we're all on the same page, making sure that we're all happy, and making sure we're getting this done.
Are we all happy?
Hey, I'm happy if you happy.
I'm happy if you happy.
I don't know. When you see her, do you think she happy up there?
I don't know. We're going to find out.
All right.
All right. What we're going to do right now is we're going to continue this podcast, but we're at our first stop. We're doing digital. What we call this, Chris? What we doing?
Digital content for CMT.
And you parking right in the mud.
I'm okay. Let me pull up a little bit.
Yeah.
There you go.
Now you're going to block his driveway.
Hey, well, he's going to have to deal with it.
Okay. So this is our first stop now. What are we doing again here, Chris?
Digital content for CMT.
This is online stuff for CMT.com?
Yes.
And it's to advertise Redneck Island.
For sure.
Okay. And then we should have a short day. Now, the way it was broke down to me the other day, we're supposed to have a short day today.
Yes, we should have a short day. I'm hoping so.
Now, before we go inside there, we got to settle a little deal we got going here because we had a bet. We can't say what the bet was.
We did have a bet.
But the bet was we were going to buy each other a fried chicken dinner. But we also thinking about eating fried catfish.
Some catfish, yeah.
But the catfish place, I think, don't open until Wednesday.
You got to pay off your debt to me, man. Yeah, you've been on me for a couple of weeks now, and I want some good fried chicken and some biscuits.
Okay, now when we continue this, well, you know what? We'll continue this conversation with what we just did for the digital content. But then I want to get onto the story of you driving out here in a pouring rainstorm, looking at your Samsung Galaxy 4 phone the entire time on a GPS when we was going on I-85 North. Yeah. I mean, because you wouldn't take your eyes off that motherfucker.
I wanted to make sure we didn't get lost, man.
Well, goddamn, we was on I-85. I mean, you ain't got to keep looking. I mean, like, man, this is before I think you knew you had a global icon and a national treasure riding with you.
Hey, man, I was going about 25 miles per hour. and that was my first impression of you, and I didn't want you to think I didn't know where I was going. So I wanted to keep my eyes. I got us here safe, didn't I?
Did you have one eye on the road and one eye on the Samsung?
I had 2 eyes on the Samsung, and you was my eyes on the road. I can let you know that now that we got here safe.
We're picking this up in a few minutes. Coming back. Bye. Folks, it is a complete pain in the ass to buy razors, and I know you hate it too. Who has time to haul their dumb ass to the store, fighting traffic the whole way, and then you find the damn razors once you get there, and they're always locked up in that little steel cage, and then you got to find one employee who happens to have the key. You know how much time you waste looking for that guy alone? And don't get me started on how much cash you drop at the register paying for those razors once you find them. Well, guess what? You ain't never got to do that again. Because all you got to do is join the DollarShaveClub.com, and for a few bucks a month, Dollar Shave Club will deliver the world's best razors right to your front door. Hell, the Dollar Shave Club is so much smarter than going to the store, and they also have plans that start at just $3 a month. Swig a beer for the Dollar Shave Club for helping a brother's budget. You sign up once. It's going to take you about 2 minutes, and sit back and wait for your blades to arrive, and they will. They're going to arrive like clockwork. Dollar Shave Club is so easy on the wallet, you can shave with a fresh blade every single week if you want to. Ain't no membership fee, ain't no long-term commitment. Hello, and Dollar Shave Club has a money-back guarantee. So really, you ain't got nothing to lose by giving them a try. So do what the hundreds of thousands of guys have already done. Join DollarShaveClub.com/Steve. That's DollarShaveClub.com/Steve.
Director and pop culture icon Kevin Smith. He's directed so many great films: Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, Jersey Girl, so many killer movies, and his new movie Tusk. Kevin is back on the big screen, and man, can this guy talk. One of my favorite episodes of Talk is Jericho, a two-parter with Kevin Smith. Download it now at podcast1.com.
Steve Austin Unleashed.
All right, we're rolling sound. Oh, Chris doing a U-turn over here. We just got finished doing some digital content for CMT.com over here at the house where we got all the rednecks housed up. And hell, I forgot to turn my batteries off, make sure I got enough charge to cover 60 minutes with my main man from the OAK, Chris Collins. So anyway, Chris, where were we when we left off?
Oh, man, I think we were talking about that drive up here. Well, first we were talking about the fried chicken bet that's now moved to fried catfish that I think I'm in the mood for anyway. So we got to find us a little catfish joint around here.
Okay, so the one that we know that we're trying to go to is closed down until Wednesday. There's another one on the outskirts of town, so I'll call our main guy, Joey, and ask him what the name of that other catfish joint is.
Yeah,
See, I'm dialing that number right now.
Joey's been good to us.
Hey, but while I'm calling Joey to find a catfish joint, I want to talk about that damn Samsung. What is that, a G4, Galaxy 4? What the fuck is that thing?
Samsung Galaxy 4. Now, I hear everybody talk about the iPhone this, iPhone that. I've been having this Samsung for a year straight now. Hasn't cracked, hasn't let me down once. Now, my service is a little spotty out here, but in terms of the phone, I mean, it's got me where I need to be. On time.
God damn, you ain't gonna get hot about it. What I was gonna, all I was gonna talk about, a while back, I talked about we leased a BMW X5 for my wife to drive as her car, because I gonna want her something to have something dependable to get around town in when I go out of town, so I know she's covered. Now, when I drive that little motherfucker, you know, the sun visors and the BMW X5 are like the size of a credit card, or in this case, the size of a Samsung Galaxy 4. So they ain't worth the flying fuck at blocking the sun. When you're driving into the sun, they don't cover shit. But when that Samsung Galaxy 4 is the same size as that damn sun visor on the X5, and you holding it up every time we're going out in one of these country locations, you got to understand, you can't see much, because when you hold that thing down in front of your face, you can't even see out the front windshield. And you're driving, Chris, a global icon and a national treasure to and from location. Well, I always drive on the way home. But and also the good citizens here in the Livonia and the Hartwell area, you're putting lives at risk. Now, why don't you let the voice tell you where to go like I do with my iPhone?
Ah, man, because my voice is the Samsung Galaxy voice isn't the sexiest Siri. You know, she has a robotic voice, and I like to hear you talk. So that's why I don't listen to it.
Oh man, we was driving that location one time, and then I'm sitting there reading the directions off a piece of paper, trying to get us to location.
And you still got us lost.
Well, we weren't going to talk about that. Stacy, I would say trim that out, but I want that left in. So what are we going to do, man? We're talking about the rest of our day. Now, see, because most of the time what we're doing, you're clear over here on my side.
All right.
Most of the time we're slammed. What is my official pickup time on most of the day, would you say? On my early days, what time you picking me up?
On your early days, I usually pick you up about, let's see, anywhere from 1 to 2 o'clock in that time frame.
And then on the other day, when I get my late pickup, that's 7:45 p.m.
7:45.
And most of the time we work on that night. We will get knocked off about 11:30.
Yeah, 11:30.
Give or take.
Yeah.
And it depends on how many fuck-ups goes down.
Oh,
because this has been an outdoor-oriented show, just like the last 3 seasons were. But for some reason, Chris, and you'll never know by the time the show all comes together, there's been a lot of shit happens that we got to stop down.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, you scratch your fucking head and you think, well, goddamn, they didn't think about this shit when they was putting it together.
Apparently not.
But it just makes for a long, intensive day. Because sometimes you think, okay, now this motherfucker going to go easy, but then it doesn't.
Yeah.
But that just goes, and I'm not just talking about specifically about this season of Redneck Island. I'm talking about any time you in show business, whether you're working on a movie or any other kind of shows, that's just what you got to expect. Yeah. And especially when you're working in the water, which is an element which you can't really always, know what the fuck it's going to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, going back to your edit days and the times when I first met you on Redneck Island, and now with your responsibilities, what else do you do in regards to, working on the shows? And I know a lot of people were coming from cooking shows and stuff like that. What other shows have you worked on, or what do you prefer doing now in regards? Because I know it's all work at the end of the day and paying those gimmicks they send in the mail called bills. But what kind of shows do you like to work on, and are you looking to move? And are you looking to move into movies?
Oh man, well, working on movies was always a long time goal of mine. I would love to work on a movie, but to give you an example, other shows I do work on, I've worked on cooking shows, I've worked on those bad girl shows, I work on dating shows, I worked on competition shows, and each of them, they have different formats, The little family shows, they're a little easier to work on, because, you're kind of following the family around until they pretty much get tired, and then when they're tired, you cut the camera. Now, these challenge shows are a different format. Now, you get to see some cool shit while you're out here, different challenges, people getting beat up, hurt, or, just showing examples of just athletics. but the format is definitely different in terms of the challenge shows because there's just so much that you have to plan for. You know, if the challenge goes right, if who wins, replays, just you have to plan for the inevitable.
Now, when you're doing these shows, you ever become emotionally attached to these people? I don't mean like falling in love with them, but I mean you get to know some pretty good people out here because you work with them so much.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I can honestly say, you know, I sometimes you can meet some cool people, and you know,
but there's some assholes too.
You can meet some assholes, and the assholes I don't really too much care for. The assholes I can't wait till the show is done with, you know. And then I have some emotionally, like some people are just emotionally unstable. I like to call it emotionally unstable, where they're happy one minute, crying the next, and throwing shit around the room the next minute.
You're from Oakland.
Yeah.
You're in San Francisco area a little bit. You're down in L.A. now.
Yeah.
And you live in Hollywood, right?
Oh, yeah, Hollywood.
So you're Hollywood, so you're city slicker is what I'm saying, because you're from West Coast.
Yeah,
big cities.
for sure.
So when you come out here to little Hartwell, Georgia, and headquarters is based in Livonia, I mean, what do you think about being out in a rural area? Because a lot of people are bored to death out here. Now, I've loved it because I kind of grew up in a similar environment with all these big yards and a lot of grass and these houses. So how's it been from someone who's been city-oriented to being in a rural location?
Well, let me tell you something, Steve. I've been from the Golden State to the Frozen State, the Big Apple to the Pineapple. This is my first time being down here in the Georgia area, and it is slow. You know, up here in the sticks. It's a different way of living, though. It's good and bad. You know, sometimes I get to zone out and get to be a little quiet to myself, and just gives me time to think and just look up at the sky. Like the other night, we were kind of looking up at the sky and had a little moment while we were looking at the moon. But I mean, but in terms of just, you know, being social or trying to, you know, find a good place to eat or just trying to have some fun, it could definitely be a struggle. And I don't know what these people do all the time, you know. I know they're used to like a slower pace of living, and that's fine, but to me, I mean, we live in the on-demand era where we, you know, everything we could click at a click of a button, we could possibly almost have in a palm of our hands. And this definitely is a different pace of living. I'll say that.
Man, you ain't bullshitting, because in L.A., I mean, you know, almost anything is 24/7, and then like you said, with all the digital stuff, I mean, anything at the push of a button as well. But yesterday, man, like my buddy Diamond Dallas Page came out, and like we was gonna go out to get something to eat. And the Katichi Golf Club was closed. We was trying to go out there to the Watermark Grill, whatever the fuck it's called, and go get some food out there because I heard it was real good. You've been out there, right?
Oh, yeah.
So how was it?
Oh, it wasn't bad, man. Salmon was pretty good. I had some fried crawfish, had a couple beers. It was pretty good.
But they closed on Monday. They don't open until like Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then we was going to go down to the what's that place we're trying to eat the catfish at?
Swamp Guinea.
Yeah, Swamp Guinea. Swamp Guinea ain't open, and it still ain't open today. That's why we're not going there. It's open on Wednesday, I think. But we're going to be working our ass off on Wednesday. So just trying to find a place to go out and eat. And we end up eating at Casa Grande, or whatever the name is, of the Mexican food place here.
Yeah.
And they've been catering a lot of the food.
Yeah.
And DDP had the best he had the best fajitas he's ever had in his life. And we also had a couple margaritas.
Nice.
And we come back here to the house and went over on the dock and chilled it out. And I told him, I said, Dallas, I said, now, ain't this cool? I said, this is peaceful, man. This is peaceful. And I knew he was appreciating how peaceful it was, but he's from a city, man. That motherfucker from Jersey, and he was down in Daytona in the nightclub business. So Hartwell is too slow for that motherfucker, too. But now I could roll down in here, and I could live out here.
Okay. As for me, I think enough time is spent down there for me. I mean, I'm still a young buck, and I still want the excitement. You know, when I get back to L.A., I'm in the thick of it. So that's just something I enjoy. I like people watching. I like hearing city sounds. I like, you know, I like the environment. And
pull up in the shade.
Oh yeah, and he's talking about my
okay.
driving
So then,
here.
no, we're just pulling up to the house here, and he hit upon a note. So I want to sit here in the air conditioning because the sun's beating through this motherfucker, and it's hot. And we get out in UV rays, we can kick it. So in Hollywood, now you and your girl, y'all been together for a pretty good while. So
Yeah.
so what would you do in L.A.? Y'all go out, y'all foodies, y'all go out and eat a lot. What's y'all social life like?
Oh man, we're definitely foodies, and we definitely don't discriminate when it comes to food. I mean, we like sushi, Italian, Brazilian, Cuban, I mean, Thai. I mean, you name it, we go out and we eat. And, that's one of the, the good things to do. We go out, eat. Afterwards, we might go hit a little hotel lounge for a little cocktail, check out the scenery and ambiance, just kind of chill among the stars and then come on home before it gets too late.
See, but here's the thing with me. Me and my wife are kind of homebodies, and my wife's passion is cooking. And I love that because one of my passions is eating like a motherfucker. So, but in trying to go out and all the restaurants that you just kind of listed in the vein of genres of cooking, there's a sushi place that's about a half mile from our house. I mean, that's kind of our go-to place, and we're like early birds. So that place opens at 5:30 p.m. for dinner. So we're there at 5:31. Sometimes we're sitting there waiting for them to flip the sign over and say open, and then we'll walk in. So I hate to get out into Los Angeles traffic because, okay, dig this. If I'm in Marina and I take off and I want to go to Beverly Hills or there's a spot over there in Hollywood, I'm going to be in traffic for at least a motherfucking hour. And then by the time I get there, and they put the whole production on, and that's going to be an hour or an hour and a half, and then you get your pay tab, and all of a sudden, shit, dude, by the time you got there, if we left at 5 or 6, got there at 7:30, 9, now see, dude, I'm already starting to wind down by that time. So when you and your girl are going out, are y'all driving across town? Are y'all fucking with that traffic? Because that's a no-can-do for me.
That's the thing. Because we're in Hollywood and there's a lot of eateries and clubs around and lounges, we kind of stay within the area. We don't really go too far across town because, like you, Steve, I cannot stand that gridlock traffic. And it wears and tears on me, too. Even though I'm a younger guy, it wears and tears on me all just the same. And I don't really have the patience for it, too. So I try to keep it in, a 5 to 10 mile radius if I'm going out.
Okay, now traffic in L.A., it bothers me. I talk about it all the time on my podcast. Now, if I'm driving, and I'm behind 3 cars at a red light, and the motherfucker at the red light sitting there texting, that really gets on my nerves.
Oh, man, that grinds my gears, too.
Because you're talking about pushing buttons and all the minor conveniences in the digital world, and then I see a motherfucker on the crosswalk, and then the white pedestrian light will come on and says, okay, walk.
Yeah.
Well, he on his phone, or she, and all of a sudden they don't look left or right. They just start walking because that white light said walk.
Yeah.
Well, shit, there might be a motherfucker run that red light and run over some bitch. So does it grind your gears? I mean, it's one of my pet peeves. Is there something wrong with me that everybody's got their head up their ass when it comes time to looking at their Samsung Galaxy 4 or the iPhone, whatever the fuck it is? Everybody got their, I mean, if you see a dude or a cat walking, if you see a dude or a chick walking down the sidewalk, most times, more often than not, are they not looking at their phone?
Oh yeah. Oh, and you're not. You're totally in the right to feel upset about that. It's even more upsetting when somebody's taking a damn selfie while they're trying to drive at night, trying to get the right light, holding this motherfucker in the air, trying to get a good picture, and you got somewhere to go. You trying to be at work on some time. So I totally get it.
That's what I always tell. I always tell my wife. I said, I got a fucking life to live. I got a life to live. I mean, these motherfuckers just not doing nothing. I got something to do. Who's up in our driveway?
I don't know, man.
We're sitting here in the driveway shooting the shit with the air conditioner on, and somebody pulled up behind us, and it's that's the owner. That's the owner. Yeah, we won't mention her name.
Okay.
So we're taking care of business here, and the owner of the house that I'm renting shows up.
Yeah, I almost reached for your pocket knife.
Dude, I can't believe you're from Oakland, live in L.A. and Hollywood, and you don't carry a pocket knife. That's one of the things I talk about, Chris, on my podcast all the time, and you listen to a couple of shows. I always carry a pocket knife, and in my glove compartment or my center console, I always got a 4-in-1 screwdriver. I always like to have some jumper cables in case, get a dead bat or something. And my wife got me this little thing the other day. It's from Matco Tools. It's a little bit... It's about 3 or 4 times the size of your phone, and you can plug that. It's got 2 clips. You can actually jump your car off with that thing that I carry with me now. So let's go back to the essentials of some of the things that guys must have. In your opinion, what are some of the things which guys must have? Are any of the things that I just mentioned not important to you?
Oh, no, they very much are. You have to keep in mind, I had to hop on a plane before I came down here.
Yeah.
I used to carry a pocket knife all the time. I'm going to give a shout-out to the downtown $5 knife man. You can catch him in any back alley pushing a shopping cart full of knives. $5 every time. He'll get you straight.
That's straight up?
Oh, yeah, that's straight up. Yeah. I used to holler at him when I used to work on shows down there, kind of by the Scared Road. But he'll push that cart, and he has a whole cart full of knives. $5, man. He used to hook me up all the time.
Okay, so you're down with carrying a blade.
Definitely down with carrying the blade. I don't like anybody getting a little too close.
Right.
Jumper cables, yeah, I got that in the car back at the crib. And what else you say?
A 4-in-1 screwdriver, just something handy if you got to pry something or screw something. I mean, 9 times out of 10, you're never going to use it, but I just like to have it for the hell of it.
For sure. Something I always carry. I always carry a backup phone charger, a USB cable, and a flashlight.
These days, like in this car we're driving here, this little SUV they got us running, they got a USB port to put an extra cord in here. Yeah. Have you figured out how to sync up the phone to the radio? Because the other day I was just leaving out of the gym, and I was going to do a podcast. I carried the recorder with me, and I was going to roll some sound but and play some tunes that I was listening to because I was in there to get my workout in.
Yeah.
And I hit the jukebox button on my stuff that I had, and it was going from hard rock to country music. And if you've ever worked out to hard rock or country music, it's a little bit of a difference because all of a sudden you start getting a little bit of this, and then you start getting hit in the head with that hard rock. So it's kind of messing me up. Yeah. So I had some pretty good comedy going. But we got a little USB cable here. Do you think you can help a brother out? And link
I definitely can.
My Bluetooth up. Now, how technologically? See, you're a young cat. You're 30. So you grew up more in the digital information age when I did.
Definitely.
Dig this. When I was a junior in high school, I was signing up for my senior classes, and I needed an elective. And that there was a class called computer science. I said, well, let me go walk down and check this motherfucker out. So I walked into the room. This is a little bitty high school in Edna, Texas.
All right.
Old school. And so there was a room. There was 25 big-ass computers. You know how big computers were back in 82?
Oh, yeah,
they was big.
Yeah, huge.
So anyway, I looked in there, and I was Joe Football. You know, I was an athlete and shit like that. So I said, man, I ain't never going to use no damn computer. So I never signed up for it. But now everything we do is a computer.
Oh, man.
And so are you down with that?
Oh,
and with all your editing skills?
I'm super down with that. I got my laptop in my backpack. I got a desktop at the crib. And I got my girl one of those iPads I jump on every now and again. So between my big-ass phone, iPad, desktop, and my laptop computer, I would say I'm digitally inclined.
Okay, so on your editing, there's different protocol to edit on. Which one are you down with? Which system?
I'm down with but I got Final Cut 7 at the crib. I'm also down with Avid. Avid 5.5 or 5.5 to 6.5. I'm down with Avid too. That's what they edit a lot of these TV shows on.
Okay, now these days. What about a little Joe Blow like me, man? Like I would go make some movies on my iPhone or my little iPad that I got. And what they got on there? iMovie?
iMovie is still pretty good, you know.
For basics like me.
Yeah, for the basics, and that's just easy to use. iMovie, it'll get the job done. If you're just trying to splice like a little home film together.
Yeah,
just some stuff like that. Yeah, iMovie is good to go. But you get into when you want to get into different formats and transitions and effects, that's when you kind of step it up to the bigger programs.
Well, dude, I got to ask you a question, man, because we're right in the middle of football season. I'm the biggest football fan in the world. Coming from Oakland, are you a football fan?
Yes, I am.
Okay, now who's your team?
Oh, man, I'm rocking with the Raiders.
Raiders.
We just let go of our coach.
Yeah, 0-4.
Yeah, 0-4. Terrible.
And I heard they fired him over the phone. I got fired from WCW like that back in the day, so I know what he's feeling right now. Shout out to, what's his name, Coach Allen?
Yeah, Coach Allen, Dennis Allen. Yeah.
So, man, they let him go unceremoniously 0-4. And, Darren McFadden still plays for Raiders, right? He's their running back coming out of Arkansas. That dude's so badass. I just want him to get on a team that knows how to use him so he can show out. But, it's almost to me like it's going to be his whole career is going to be in frustration down in Oakland.
Yeah,
can they ever put it together? Because, back in the old days when they was kicking ass, but I'm going back when you was a real small kid.
Yeah. I'm hoping they'll get it together, man. It's hard staying a loyal fan. You damn near say you're an Oakland Raiders fan and people laugh at you. And then really you can't talk shit about any other team because, we ain't done shit. So, I'm really hoping they'll get it together. I'm staying, down with them. There's no fans like our fans, and, hopefully we'll get it together.
Okay, if Oakland is in the toilet, and they have been for many years, and who's your backup team? You dig the Seahawks at all? I'm
digging the Seahawks because of my man Marshawn Lynch. He's coming from North Oakland, and I've seen that guy. He was a stellar high school performer. Good to see him just evolve in the league. Not much of a talker, but you know what he says? He's about that action, boss.
Well, I remember, back in the Super Bowl, last year before. I mean, he just didn't want to do any media because that ain't him. But I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you got enough guys talking shit.
Yeah.
And he's one of them guys that don't want to do nothing. It almost seemed like they tried harder just to get him in front of the camera. And that ain't his thing.
Nah,
and I'm down with it, man, because you give that man the football, he will run over your ass to try to get to the goal line. And I dig that.
Yeah. His career isn't in journalism or anything. He got his professions in football. The boy knows how to play ball. And, I mean, they went to the bowl last year. They won a thing, and I think they're going to do great things again this year.
See, I like Russell Wilson, that QB. See, I followed him when he started off at NC State, and then went to Wisconsin. All of a sudden, they elected him team captain just based on his athletic skill and his leadership skills and who he was as a person. And I knew he would get drafted in the 3rd round. And then they brought up Matt Flynn to be the guy over in Seattle. And I said, Russell Wilson's going to be the guy. And it turned out to be the guy. That dude's a class act. And the thing about him is he's smart. He knows when to take himself out of harm's way and get on the ground.
Yeah, for sure.
It's been frustrating to see what's going on with RG3 over in Washington because running that Shanahan offense for those first couple years, he just got put in harm's way. And he's such a good kid and so athletic, and he's an elite athlete. But man, when you're taking contact from those dudes that are playing defense these days, man, I fear for his career because he's already had the knee surgery at Baylor. He had the knee surgery since he turned pro, and now he rolled his ankle pretty good and dislocated that. So I'm worried about him making a comeback.
Definitely, man. Like, I was never really a big Redskins fan. I spent some time on the East Coast in Hampton, Virginia, so I had a lot of DMV people around, so that they'll go for the Redskins. So I really started looking at him when that boy RG3 got on the team, and I was really going for him. He made a lot of good plays, and really good kid, but just after that knee injury, just seeing him on the field with that brace, I used to cringe every time.
They brought him back too early, dude.
Oh, way too early, and I'm really feeling for that kid because he was just trying to step up as a rookie.
And at that time, man, I mean, it's all gumption. I mean, you just want to win for the team, and that's the spirit of being young and you're bulletproof. But that's when the coaches got to step in and say, hey, man, we know you want to go, but we just got to hold you out till we know you're 100% because you're talking about franchise quarterback.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
So, man, when you're talking franchise, you got to err on the side of conservative.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, you brought up, we started talking about the Washington Redskins. As of late, for the past year or so, it really has been in the news about the Washington Redskins coming under pressure to change the name of the team to anything but the Redskins. Okay, now, you and me sitting here in a GMC Envoy, whatever the fuck we're driving, with pretty good size window sun visors. What's your thoughts on the Redskins? Do they need to change the name or do they not? Or is America just looking for something because they need to pick on somebody or someone got their feelings hurt? Or are we turning into a world that's so politically correct? Is there anything that offensive to the Redskins name in your estimation?
It's difficult to say. If people are offended, by that, like the ancestors or of Indian heritage. If they feel, that it has really no connection to their legacy or their heritage, and we kind of are so proud and use the logo so freely. I mean, maybe.
Man, but when I look at that circle on the side of that helmet, Chris, and I see that Indian, that's a proud, iconic image.
It is, and you raise a good point. Just like a Titan,
right?
Or a Roman helmet for any other league or mascot or anything for that matter. So that's a very good point.
And so obviously, man, I'm whiter than fuck, man. I'm damn near an albino, but so I can't speak for the Native Americans. But obviously, and some people are highly offended by it. They're Native American, but just for me, I'm like, man, it was a name that I thought was born out of pride and respect, and that's what it represents on the side of that helmet. And if you guys think I'm a complete fucking idiot, an asshole, or I'm the smartest guy on the planet, or I should just stop talking about the Washington Redskins, send it to me at questions@steveaustonshow.com and let me know your thoughts, and we'll talk about it some more on the podcast. So much of this podcast, Chris, that I do and you've heard a couple of them, it's all about entertainment. So I don't like to jump into politics, and I don't really like to jump into religion, because those are very divisive subjects.
Yeah.
Because you're all in, or you're all out, or you're all of this, or you're all of that.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
sure.
my thing here with the podcast, with the Steve Austin Show, is, hey, man, bring a couple of chuckles to a motherfucker, give him some tips about carrying a pocket knife or some jumper cables, and entertain. So basically the show is entertainment oriented, but every now and then I like to touch upon something that has some
But you don't want to ruffle any feathers.
No, I don't want to ruffle any feathers, but I mean,
it's all shooting the shit.
By the same token, I do have a point of view, but like I said, I don't want this motherfucker to get too political and stuff like that, but I'm such a football fan, I wanted to know your thoughts. I covered this just the other day on my podcast with Diamond Dallas Page. But now that I can cuss a little bit, I want to talk about this with you. Did you see the footage of the Ohio State University student that got tackled by that coach?
Yes, I did.
Okay, your thoughts on that?
Man, he got what he deserved. He knew the minute that he touched that damn field, he was liable to get his ass kicked or get thrown to the ground, and that's exactly what happened. And I think, all this chatter about, lawsuit or suing him, or that wasn't, right to do, I think it's bullshit.
Okay. With that being said, I saw the headlines today. I had to check the news and just see what was going on, like I do every morning when I wake up, just to see a little bit of what's going on in the world. And indeed, criminal trespass charges have been filed against the kid.
Okay.
And they should. And to me, the deal was, he's a risk. The athletes out there playing, you don't know if this motherfucker got a knife, got a gun, he got a bomb strapped on him, and that don't come out of paranoia. I'm just saying, hey, when you buy a ticket to see a football game, you pay to sit in a fucking seat, drink beer, drink Coke, eat popcorn, yell for your team.
Absolutely.
You could even cuss if you want to, but I mean, in the vein of, you're in a public place, it does not entitle you to run out there and interrupt the game and cause a spectacle of yourself because you need some attention.
Absolutely.
And so the strength coach snapped to, what was he supposed to do? Was he going to put the smack down on him? He almost looked like he hit him with a rock bottom, because he tried to kind of corral the kid, but the kid tried to put a juke on him, and he grabbed him around his neck and threw his ass down.
Took his ass down.
Because you know what would have been silly? It would have made that coach look dumber than shit had he chased that guy around the football field like Keystone Cops.
Everybody hackling,
yeah,
and, prolonging the game and everything. No, that coach did exactly what he had to do.
All right, now what's going to happen right now is we're sitting here in front of my house. We still got our seatbelts on. Now, we got the car in park. We got the air conditioning running, but we're safe as a motherfucker. And Chris got some airbags in the steering wheel. I got an airbag in front of me. Hopefully they won't deploy, because we're about to make our next decision about what we're going to do. We're either going to go find a place to eat fried catfish, or we're going to go eat the fried chicken, or we're going to go ride the jet skis. We're coming right back after a word from our sponsors with my main man out here on Redneck Island, the guy who's responsible for a global icon and a national treasure and all kinds of important shit as it relates to our show. I'm coming back with CCC. Chris, what's your middle name? Charlton. God damn, I'm traveling with C Cubed, and we're coming back after this.
All right.
All right, it's not too late to win some serious cash playing fantasy football at DraftKings.com. Thanks to DraftKings.com, you can win instant cash this very weekend. That's right. DraftKings.com is awarding huge cash prizes every single week. And right now, you can get free entry into the Millionaire Maker event, where first place takes home $1 million. Go to DraftKings.com and enter the promo code Steve for your free shot at becoming the next millionaire. At DraftKings, you ain't got to worry about injuries and suspensions. You don't even have to worry about bye weeks. And you ain't got to wait until December to collect any winnings. That's why DraftKings is America's favorite one-week fantasy football site. And hey, don't forget, use the promo code Steve and get free entry into the Millionaire Maker event. DraftKings.com. Bigger events, bigger winnings, bigger millionaires. So enter Steve now at DraftKings.com. That's Steve at DraftKings.com to get free entry into the Millionaire Maker event. All right, coming back here with Chris Collins, which is backing out of the driveway, fixing to go get us something to eat. What we decided on when we was trying to go down to, we was going to go to Swamp Guinea and to get some catfish, but they ain't open. But they open like 2 days a week. I don't know how those guys pay the fucking bills.
I don't either. It's like people can just come to work when they want to around here.
Well, and then we go eat Mexican food, but they've been catering a lot, so you've been eating a lot of food, and they're real good food. Man. So if you're passing through Hartwell, Georgia, go check out Casa Grande. That dude is real nice. They make a damn good margarita, and they make good Mexican food. But I ate there yesterday with DDP, so we called it Katichi Golf Club. What's it called, a Watermark Grill?
Yeah.
Now, they said the restaurant is open at 5:30. Now, we're going to run an hour early because it's 4:30, but the bar's open and we get the same food there. So ain't no sense in sitting around starving, because eat dinner, come back, and have an early night because we got a long day tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, we got a long one.
There's a thing that a lot of people don't know about shooting reality television, and it's no industry secret, but most times, Chris, at least in regards to the shows that I've been filming, it takes 2 days to film one episode.
Yes.
Now, tomorrow we have an epic day where we will shoot an episode in one entire day. Why is this?
Why is this? Pretty much a scheduling. You know, we got the co-host this time, and, you know, just conflict of schedule. She had stuff to do, had to come back in town, so we kind of had to move some days around to squeeze it all in one day.
Hey, you think we should talk about the co-host? Because does anybody know yet?
I don't know if anybody knows yet.
Well, I mean, ain't no secrets out here on Facebook.
It is out here on Facebook. Hey,
all right,
let's go ahead with it.
We got a Facebook. I mean, I ain't got no Facebook. I mean, I do, but I don't ever use that motherfucker. But it's on Facebook. So anyway, yeah, so we had some issues. So even without that, though, Chris, every season we do film one entire episode in a day, and that's just where the schedule breaks down, and it makes for a long-ass day at work.
Oh, yeah.
But I mentioned Facebook. You're into technology. Tell me about your Facebook page.
Oh, man, my Facebook has been dry. I used to be a epic Facebook guy, and when it first all jumped off, you know, when I was single, it was a great place, you know, for hooking up with chicks in different towns. Hey, I'm coming to your city, shoot them a little message on the wall, pop up, maybe shoot them a poke. You know, it all works in my favor at the end of the day. And then, you know, working on set in reality TV, sometimes we go to great locations where I get to take these epic pictures and get to post them on my Facebook wall, which I used to get a lot of praise on. But now I kind of toned it down, man. I don't really do the Facebook too much these days.
Dude, man, I did some research. I mean, it wasn't like I was on the internet researching, but it's like, man, and you probably know better than I do, like 80 or 90 million Americans, or how many of the fuck is, but they're all on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I got one that I have for my Broken Skull Ranch, but it's a page. I don't do shit with it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So how active? Because I know some people will get on that thing and they'll say, I'm going to so-and-so to get a sandwich.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I just did a commercial for Wendy's. Watch this. I'm going to Wendy's to get a barbecue pulled pork sandwich. And then they'll talk about, I'm going to get me some shorts. I'm going to go to get me some ice cream. And they post every goddamn thing they do on the Facebook page. Was that you?
No, not at all. Those people, I mean, you know, to each his own. But here's the thing, you know, don't tell your life story on Facebook. You know, you got your jobs watching you on there. You got your people, relatives. You know, some of that shit people just don't want to hear. Some of it's just TMI, too much info. So keep some of that on the low.
Any other advice, tips you got for people in the technology world? Hey, what about this, Chris?
What's up?
You're in Los Angeles, where we live. You cannot drive and talk on a telephone at the same time unless you have on a headset or a wireless gimmick on your ear, Bluetooth thing. Out here in Georgia, that law does not apply. So you can drive around with your phone talking on your ear like you can in Texas.
Yeah.
But I'm so used to being in Los Angeles. When I'm in Texas at my ranch and I go into San Antonio to buy groceries, you know, I'd rather people not have phones on their ears. Where do you stand on this life issue?
Oh, nah, I definitely think the hands-free or the Bluetooth is the way to go. Even though I may, you know, every now and again put the phone to my ear. I think
an emergency. You got to.
Yeah, I think that's just precaution. You know, it's you know, I've heard, you know, a couple of different stories, you know, driving while texting or driving while on the phone.